All right, let's get into a story that honestly sounds like it was ripped right out of a sci-fi movie. We're going to talk about a recent discovery on the moon, a discovery of a material that, well, simply shouldn't be there. Our story kicks off on the far side of the moon. And just think about that for a second, a place that's always hidden from us here on Earth. Totally untouched, holding who knows how many secrets that we're just now starting to peek at. So, right there in the dust of this pristine landscape, China's Chang'e 6 probe scooped up a sample. But it's what happened when they got that sample back to Earth that really sent a jolt through the scientific community. Yep, that's the kicker. They found a material so advanced, so perfectly put together, that up until now, our best scientists could only make it artificially, under super specific lab conditions. So the question is, how in the world did it get on the moon? So, to really get how big a deal this is, we've got to rewind just a little bit and look at the mission that actually made this whole thing possible. Okay, so here's the play-by-play. In mid-2024, the Chang'e 6 lander touches down in the Apollo Basin, a place no mission has ever gone before. It drills, it scoops, and it grabs about 2 kilograms of lunar samples. Then, after it gets all the way back to Earth, researchers at Jilin University spend more than a year just poring over this precious cargo. And then, they make an announcement that just sounds unbelievable. See, they didn't just find a new kind of rock. They found something many people consider to be a miracle material, one that could literally define the future of technology as we know it. So what did they find? Carbon nanotubes. Now, if you're not familiar, just imagine taking a sheet of carbon that's only one single atom thick and then rolling it up into a perfect, tiny little tube. That's a carbon nanotube. And they are so small, almost impossibly tiny. And what makes them a miracle material are these just insane properties. We are talking about something that is 1,000 times stronger than steel, but it's 85% lighter. They can conduct electricity with almost zero resistance. Oh, and they could be used to make computer chips way more powerful than anything we have today. And look, this isn't just a small improvement on what we have. It's a complete revolution. This is the kind of stuff you'd need to finally build a space elevator, or create batteries that can charge in seconds, or design next-gen stealth technology. The point is, this stuff is a really big deal. Now, finding this on the moon at all would be super exciting. But it's the specific type of nanotube they found that turns this from just an interesting discovery into a legitimate, head-scratching mystery. And this slide really gets to the heart of the problem. Over on the left, that's what we sometimes find naturally here on Earth. They're called multi-walled nanotubes. They're a little messier, kind of like a tube inside a tube inside a tube. But on the right, that's what was on the moon. Single-walled nanotubes, the perfect, pristine version with all those game-changing properties, the kind we thought could only be man-made. So the first logical question you have to ask is, did we put them there by accident, contamination? Well, the answer is a hard no. The Apollo Basin is totally virgin territory. No Apollo astronaut, no Soviet rover, nothing from Earth has ever been there. And that leaves us with a very strange and exciting question. If these things are basically an artificial product, and we didn't make them, then who did? So as you can probably imagine, this discovery was pure rocket fuel for all kinds of speculation that's been swirling around the moon for, well, centuries. I mean, people have been dreaming up stories about the moon forever, all the way back to the Great Moon Hoax of 1835, which actually convinced people that Batman lived up there. And then you have all the modern theories about secret alien bases and crashed UFOs. For some people, this discovery felt like, finally, the first real piece of evidence. The theory is pretty compelling, isn't it? The idea that these nanotubes aren't just a geological feature, but a technological relic. The signature of a civilization that rose and fell on the moon, maybe wiped out by some cosmic event, leaving behind only these microscopic traces of their incredible technology. It's an amazing story. But, and I'm sorry to burst the bubble for any alien enthusiasts, science has a different explanation. And in its own way, it's just as elegant, just as cool. The answer isn't extraterrestrial intelligence, it's extraterrestrial chemistry. It turns out the moon, with its really unique conditions, is basically the perfect natural laboratory for creating something we thought was purely artificial. So here's how it works. First, the moon has no atmosphere, which means it's constantly getting pelted by tiny micrometeorites. When one hits, the impact creates this intense flash of heat that instantly vaporizes carbon that's already in the soil. Next, and this is the key part, the meteorite itself has iron in it, which acts as a catalyst. Finally, in the perfect vacuum of space, this little cloud of carbon and iron cools down really fast, and the atoms just self-assemble into those flawless single-walled tubes. It's nature's very own nanofactory.
So look, this might feel like a bit of a letdown to some people. Science 1, alien 0. But don't be disappointed, because what China actually discovered is, you could argue, way more important for the future of all of us.
Just to be perfectly clear, this was not the smoking gun of a lost alien civilization. There was no ancient tech just waiting for us to find and reverse engineer. What they found was a treasure map. They proved that one of the most advanced materials we know of can be sourced directly from the lunar soil. This is what's called an in situ resource, and it changes absolutely everything. Just think about what this means for actually building a moon base. Instead of having to launch all these heavy, crazy expensive materials from Earth, future colonists could just mine the soil and process it to make their own carbon nanotubes. They could 3D print tools, build stronger and lighter habitats, manufacture advanced electronics, all right there on site. This is a massive step towards a real self-sustaining presence on the moon. So the impossible material, it wasn't alien, it was a gift from the cosmos, a natural process that we're only just starting to wrap our heads around. And it leaves us with this incredible thought. As we finally get ready to go back to the moon to stay, this discovery is probably just the beginning. What else is out there hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to find it?